Micah Morris commits to Georgia. Dean Legge from Dog Post with Matt DeBary, making you a smarter Georgia fan. You kind of could see this one coming, Matt, but Georgia's getting really a very good prospect in Micah Morris.
Yeah, this is a huge pickup, one of the top offensive line prospects, not only in the state of Georgia, which is really deep, as we all know, but in the country as well. And, I thought teams like South Carolina and Florida, maybe even Auburn, were targeting Micah Morris a little bit more than Georgia was, especially with Matt Luke coming in, kind of wanting these smaller kind of wrestler types in, like he's trying to bring in this class. But he's a big-time prospect. He's only 16 years old. So I think of all the prospects in the state of Georgia that I cover, he's one of the guys with the most potential. Again, 16 years old, 6'4", 310 pounds. I've seen him a good bit, especially in a camp setting. I got to see him play on a Friday night last fall against West Forsyth, where he absolutely dominated. I've written about that a bunch over on Dog Post. But he's a guy, big arms, big chest, big lower body. I mean, he's got the tools, he's got the size, he's got the strength. Just needs to work on, the fundamentals and continue to perfect his craft, work on his technique a little bit, and balance, footwork, the little things. Again, he's so young, but he's got the size and strength, and he really has performed really well every time I've seen him, whether it's a camp setting or on a Friday night. So there's a lot to work with here. Georgia offered him, I feel like 2 years ago when he was 14. He's been on the recruiting scene for a long time now. Yeah. Dropped his top 5 recently. Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Auburn, I think one more. But Dean, this is a guy who wanted to commit to Georgia in December. We've had, this Micah Morris commits to Georgia piece kind of written for a while now, just had to edit it a little bit. But I do think he was going to commit to Georgia back in December. The Sam Pittman leaving for Arkansas made him kind of take a step back and reevaluate things. But deep down, I think he always wanted to be a Bulldog. He's from Camden County. Definitely a completely part of the state of Georgia, but still in the state nonetheless. And again, this is a big pickup for Georgia. I think he's the number 3 overall offensive line prospect in my eyes in the state of Georgia, behind Amarius Mims and Terrence Ferguson, who could very well both sign with Georgia as well. But again, big time prospect, great size, but loads of potential. That's what Georgia's getting in here. He might not be able to step in and contribute immediately, but he's a guy who, if he continues to work and just perfect his craft, like I said earlier, I mean, I do think the sky is the limit for a kid like Micah Morris in Athens.
So, when you start talking about high-level recruits, it's not surprising. I mean, Camden County really churns out some kids. He plays left tackle, as you can see from some of the video we've got on here. For Camden, but he also still does have a little bit of ways to go. He's got to develop. He is raw.
Yeah, and I think I still like him more at guard. I don't know if he's able to handle those Nolan Smith types on the edge, those speedy outside linebackers that just get to the quarterback. I don't know if he can handle those guys yet, but I think he's got the frame and definitely the lower body to really maul you at guard, especially in the run game. And again, they're not a team that passes a whole lot, so he's not used to big-time edge rushers coming off the edge and in pass protection. He's shown he can pass protect in camps, but it's completely different than playing on a Friday night, as you know. So, again, there's still a lot, to get better at. He is still really raw, but I do think the light has started to come on, especially at 16 years old, and he is only going to get better. So, again, lots of potential, and as you see by the highlights, he can dominate at times. Just needs to be a little more consistent in that area.
Yeah, when I saw him play, I was sort of back and forth with him, but you could see the potential. I mean, I think you're right as it relates to guard. He looks more like a guard right now, but that's right now. I mean, he's 16 and things can still develop. Hey, we're going to send you to our next video here, the top 3 prospects that Georgia's got signed in the 2020 class. Take a look at that. We'll see you over on Dog Post. Big news tonight with Micah Morris's commitment.